Hey y'all, if you subscribe, thank you. This is a video about things that I didn't know before and that I have learned now that I'm in my mid-20s. And maybe these things are not gonna apply to everyone, but it's from my experience being a woman in her 20s in Mexico and a few other places, but yeah. Okay, so the first thing I didn't know before I graduated was that my salary expectations were way too high. And I'm not even gonna blame myself on that because I don't think what I was expecting to make was too high. But now that I think about it, it really reminds me of my last semester. We had a class that was about just real life and how hard it's gonna hit. Basically, it sounds dumb, but that really was what the class was about. That and checking out how we're gonna improve our portfolios and demo reels for when we were gonna apply to these jobs. But I really have this moment present in my memory. In one of those classes, the professor asked, how much do you guys think you're gonna be making, like fresh off uni, like just graduated? How much you guys are thinking that you're gonna make? And this one guy said, I think I will be good making at least $700. He said, obviously this was in Spanish and he said it in pesos. He said 15,000 pesos, but I'm just saying it in dollars because it's just easier to do the conversion. And I remember that everyone in that class just turned around and looked at him like they gasped, like, how can you say that? How can you sell yourself so short? We're expecting to make double that amount at least coming from this university, blah blah. First of all, for our career that we picked, that doesn't even matter, for real. Like, it doesn't even matter what university you came from. And second of all, now that I'm looking back at that, I'm thinking, damn, that's wild. Because I remember I didn't say anything at the time, but I remember thinking like, I'm not gonna survive with that amount of money in Guadalajara because I was living there. And now that I think about it, on my first job I was offered $400, which is 8,000 pesos, I think, around. I probably don't have the conversion like exactly right, but that's about the amount of money that I was offered, and I took the job because I needed it. Eventually I ended up dropping that job because I couldn't afford to pay for rent and everything else. I'm just thinking like, damn, that's crazy, because we were all judging him for saying that, which is obviously comes from a super privileged place, that we're even shocked at that being a good salary. And now that I cannot, like, to this date, I cannot even find a job that will pay me that. Like, there are many vacancies that will offer that amount of money, but I need to be way more qualified or prepared. Like, it's just funny how we all thought we were the shit. To this day I haven't made like $700 as a monthly salary. It's just crazy to me how we really thought, huh? Now the next topic is home decor and furniture. I didn't expect that shit to be so expensive, to be honest. Like, obviously I'm not I was not sitting here thinking I could pay everything with Legos or Monopoly money, but bitch, we were trying to cop a table and a set of chairs and a few like little cushions for the couch. And these tables, like, we couldn't find anything pretty that was under $700. Those $700 that I said before, the ones that I would have gotten, that I thought I would have by now with the job I thought I would have, those were the ones that I needed now. So we were expecting to buy used furniture because we didn't have that much money anyway. And this was the furniture that we were like, okay, it's a little ugly, but we're gonna sacrifice ourselves. It doesn't matter. We're not here to play house. We're not here to live the lavish life. We're here to survive, bitch. This is the real world. And we couldn't find anything under $700, and that shit just was amazing to me, like, for real, for real. And the cushions were about, I think that we couldn't find any of them under $50. And I was just so shocked, because that's what I was trying to spend on a week, or at least that's what I was trying to save to go out on the weekend. So which takes me to my next topic. I don't go out clubbing anymore. I just don't be having the same energy I had before. For real, I don't have the same amount of drive. I remember back in uni when I was like in the first 3 semesters, we would go out every weekend. And now when I try to go out, it takes everything off of me. Like, I'll be done doing my makeup and I'm tired, like I'm out of breath. I'm like, damn, I cannot do this anymore. Especially if it's to go clubbing. I'm just not interested in that straight life anymore. I don't want to engage with straight men yelling and women being catty. I can still go to music festivals and different kinds of parties, but not really clubbing. Like, I'm not really on the hunt. O sea, ya no me gusta la putería, pues. Which also takes me to my next topic. If we're family, you can skip this because it's probably gonna be a little bit of uncomfortable. I did mention this on Twitter, I think, at some point, about how these female empowerment movements and sexual liberation movements kind of get you carried away when you don't really know what the fuck you even want in life. It's just so much discourse around what women are supposed to be doing with their bodies and how they're supposed to be feeling. And I mean, I guess it's all okay. Like, at least we have much more information than probably what our parents had back in the day. And things are more open and you can talk really about anything you want and it's less taboo. But here's the thing. I think it's fine as long as your frontal lobe is fully developed. Because I was missing some brain cells back then, I think. You need to know the difference between being sexually liberated and making responsible decisions, and that you're mentally stable and okay, and you're choosing to do these things because you want to, one side of it, and you have to learn to differentiate it from just hooking up with people because you're trying to fit into some movement that you're not even processing. I remember just being on Twitter and all this discourse was going on. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Discourse, I don't know. Because you can really fall into this rabbit hole of unconsciously wanting to belong to this cherry emoji Twitter persona. Like, you want to be free and you want to be this bad bitch that everyone claims to be, and you want to really mean it when you're up to freak nasty. And no shade to my girl Megan, I mean, that's my baby. I still sing along. But I just do not relate on the same level that I was thinking I was gonna relate. You know, like, I just don't. It's okay. Like, if you don't have it in you, it's okay. If you're sensitive, it's okay. Bitch, I cannot just go around hooking up with friends, because I cannot have these attachment issues on top of these daddy issues. It's just not gonna, it doesn't add up. Not all of us are built to be players. Not all of us are meant to be these savages. And listen, it's not gonna, I don't think that's gonna ever change my personality at all, because I think I'm the same person. I'm still fun at parties, and I'm gonna be the first person to hype you up on your whole shit. I'll be the first person to cheer for you when you're busting it down and you want to get on some whole shit. By the way, I forgot to mention this, but it's also so performative. It really is. Here we are trying our best. Like, we're really going to it pretending that we can write for hours and do this gymnastic shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna do the bare minimum, just like you, because I know you're not gonna make me not I just think that's the tip of the iceberg with this type of, like, we gotta really be careful when we speak on public forums about this type of discourse and sexual liberation, because now we have underage and barely legal ladies trying to start their career on OnlyFans. Now this in no way, shape or form any dig to sex workers out there, because they really be out there hustling more than these dudes that are trying to sell you entrepreneurship courses, or these camera ass photographers that are pervy as fuck. But yeah, I do remember reading about experienced cam girls talking about how a lot of young girls get into it because they're attracted to the amount of money they can make off of that, but they're not taking into consideration the dangers of it. Like, there are just weird people out there, stalkers, or you really kind of are, like, it's not that you're giving away your privacy consciously, but you know that to a certain extent you're not gonna have that anymore because people just don't respect boundaries, or they constantly receive threats. It's just like many things that people that are young are not considering before they try to make easy money, which is, that's the thing too, that it's not even easy money. It's hard to do that. It's hard to, like, most of y'all, no shade, but most of y'all cannot even work a room, and you're out here trying to make money off of sex work because you think it's easy, but you cannot even work a room. Make it make sense. Also, sorry if you can hear noise in the background. My family is here and the tumble dryer is on, and dogs. So yeah, just take that into consideration. It's many more things other than having thick skin and receiving criticism. Like, that's not the only thing. It's real dangerous. It's real implications. I don't know how we got to this. I'll probably make a video about that. Another thing that I've learned is I'm not running out of time whatsoever. I'm on my mid-20s and I still have time. Maybe not as much as I had when I was 18, where I still could fuck up and change careers and do whatever the fuck I wanted. I don't know, I think it's normal to feel lost and not have shit figured out, and I think a lot of the times we compare ourselves to people who post on social media about their achievements, which is also cool. Like, who am I to tell anybody that they can't post their achievements on social media? I'll applaud that. The other day I was watching this table talk with all these accomplished actresses, and I remember the interviewer asking one of them, I actually don't remember if it was Viola Davis who was, like, asked this question, or who else was it. She said, when was it that you had this aha moment that you said, I've made it? And this lady replied, I don't think I've had that moment yet. And she was like in her 40s, I think, or 50s. I don't even know, honestly. She was like, I still feel like I have to wake up every day and chase the bag. And she probably didn't even say it this way, but basically she was saying how she still feels like she has to stay on top of the game, or people were gonna forget her, people were not gonna cast her anymore. It's still not a day that I can sit here and say, oh, I've made it. You're gonna feel this way every single day of your life unless you're fucking Jeff Bezos. Also, just reading about successful people who peaked in their 30s or 40s, that helps too. Like, I mean, I'm 25, I guess. It's normal that I'm still a little bit lost. I think the last thing I will say is I'm not bound to work in a field related to my career. Many people end up being happy and abundant working projects and doing the thing, and it's not even related to the career path that they picked, so I'm not too stressed about it anymore. I've never been a person who plans their entire life, and I think that's maybe a little bit of why I'm feeling like a little bit stuck still. I think I've learned to not be so hard on myself and just accept that my path is not the same as everyone else's path. It's a different rhythm, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be insecure about it still. Like, I'll still be on Twitter tonight posting about how I need to get a job. It doesn't hit the same way that it used to hit. Like, I don't feel that pressure of, like, oh, I have to be in this field. Just because I studied something, it doesn't mean that I I'm permanently locked to that path. So yeah, if you stuck all the way all through this video, thank you. If you want to like, if you want to subscribe, if you want to comment and share and turn notifications on, you can do that. If you don't want to, that's okay too. By the way, I already ordered like those little microphones, like the clip ones, just so I can get better audio. I hope that helps. And about my camera, I don't think I'll have another camera for a while because they're expensive. And I lost my other one. I didn't lose it, I sold it. I sold it back in February because I needed money to go to Baidora's music festival. So sorry, mom.